Hello. How are you today? Thank you for joining me on my Live with Julie on Tuesdays. Today's topic is, what are you attracting? And before I go through my notes and discuss this topic, I always like to pull a card. And I just did it like literally 5 minutes before this live. As always, it could not be a better card. It's like the universe is totally aligned with me and is giving me the okay that what I am talking about is needed. So the card I pulled says, I see myself attracting harmonizing intent. How cool is that? This is from the deck, the Law of Attraction cards. You can see that there. It's just a little favorite deck that I like to pull from just to make sure that I'm in alignment with whatever I'm doing in the day. So this card says, I see myself attracting only those in harmony with my current intent. And I'm getting clearer and clearer in every moment about what it is that I want. It matters not what others are choosing. What is important is that I am pleased with me and that I see myself. I certainly am. So that is a perfect segue to start with this particular live, because this live is entitled, well, first of all, for those of you who don't know me, I am Julie, CEO, founder of Quantum Connections Incorporated, and I love to help people get results that they want through their own intuition, tapping into their own higher faculties and their own portal and getting what they want. So this topic is, what are you attracting? Have you ever given it much thought that everything in your existence is a manifestation of what you have thought? It's not something most people think about, but it's true. I had that eye-opening experience in Minnesota. I talked about that last live. When I was drowning in negativity, drama, chaos, and uncertainty, believing all my problems were the result of other people's actions, certainly not my own, believing life was happening to me rather than for me, and most definitely I was feeling like a victim. The state I was in was not serving me or my family, but being called by my intuition to go to Minnesota to hear this old guy named Bob Proctor, whom I never met in my life, was an absolute moment of truth for me. It was humbling, and it was one that I was willing to take responsibility for. Everything that was in my life was a direct reflection of what I attracted. It was like a slap in the face, if you will. So from that point forward, I decided, because he went on to talk about the laws of the universe, and I decided to attract the opposite. The opposite of the way I was living was actually to have a family of unity, positive, supportive spouse, harmony and helpfulness, respect, understanding, and love. Some of those things I still work on, but the majority I've come to see in my life now. And from where I was 2 years ago to where I am now, although it might not seem as drastic as a junkie coming off the streets and making something of themselves, or a rags to riches story, or nonetheless, it's been my own miracle, absolute miracle. So this is the main message I want you to hear from this live this time. Your thoughts determine what you attract. That's it. Let me say it again. Your thoughts determine what you will attract. So look around you. Are you happy with what surrounds you? Are you living the way you want to? And be honest with yourself. Is there something you always wanted to do, but your thoughts prevent you from doing it? So therefore you're kind of feeling a little resentful, anger, because you're blaming it on someone else or something else, because you're really not where you want to be in life and you're frustrated. That's normal. Well, it's not normal, but it is kind of the norm. A lot of people feel this way. A lot of people go through this way in some capacity or another. But it doesn't have to be that way. That's what I found out. There is where my awareness was awakened. I was just blown away. That power is not outside of you. It's inside of you. It's all within, and it can be changed as quickly as you can decide. Just like I decided in Minnesota. It wasn't like, oh, I'm going to just try this out. No, I just decided. It was like, this is what I have to do. And that was that. So let's discuss more in detail why we attract what we attract. It all has to do with vibration. You see, the law of vibration supersedes the law of attraction. It's primary. Vibration is the cause of attraction. Like attracts like. Therefore, you will only attract what you are in harmony with. So, for example, if you have a broke mentality, like no money, broke, how do you expect to attract money? Because money is on the abundance vibration. If you have a poor self-image and you really don't like yourself, you beat yourself up, then how do you expect other people to like you? Or how do you expect to have more friends? One more. If you judge people, just admit to yourself, we can be judgy. If you judge people and how they look, they act, what they believe in, then why are you surprised if you attract people who judge you? So do you see where I'm going with this? These are the aha moments I had to have. And it's really prevalent with families. We think that because we're related, we must think alike, which is actually a form of judgment. What we must realize is that we are all individuals with different thoughts, different likes, different perceptions and viewpoints. If we learn how to row our own canoe and better ourselves instead of worrying about how to change someone else, we're going to be a much, much happier person. And I speak from experience because this is where my canoe turned right around and started to go with the current rather than against it. So speaking of current, river or flow, this is an excellent way to feel within ourselves and let us know if we are in harmony or not. So in other words, are we attracting that with what we desire, or are we attracting that with what we fear? Oh, we can go real deep with this. This is such a good topic. I love this. And it's just something to really ask yourself a lot of questions. So is what we're doing or thinking making us feel good or feel bad? If it's good, we're in harmony with it. Likewise, if it feels bad, we need to learn how to stop it immediately because it's not in harmony with us. It's not meant for us. It's the sign from the universe to get the heck out of the way, like change things. If you're not feeling good, you are not in alignment. You are not in harmony with your purpose. A lot of things came to me in my study. So all of this takes practice because most of us, until we come into this awareness, we're operating by our 5 senses. Okay, our 5 senses are see, hear, smell, taste, and touch. You learn that in school. When we're living through our 5 senses, we're like a pinball in a pinball machine, banging up against this wall, that wall, sometimes going a long way, sometimes getting caught in a fierce back and forth motion, always trying to get out of the maze, only to be smacked right back into it again, and never knowing which direction we're heading next. It becomes dizzying to the point where we feel we just don't even care anymore. And that's a dangerous place to be. So how do we start attracting what we want? We begin by becoming aware of our vibe, our vibration, our emotions, our feelings, our frequency, they're all the same. Same, just different wording. Have you ever noticed how a grumpy person who enters a crowded room can clear a path right through it? Like, man, you just feel it. Or the opposite, when Miss Sunshine enters the room and everybody flocks towards her because they're attracted to that. Why is it? People in general, because we're made of the same source, same energy, same spirit. In general, we're attracted to a higher frequency. It's in our spiritual DNA that we want more, we want to become more, do more, attract more. Therefore, we want, when a higher frequency person, event, or a feeling is available, we're immediately attracted to it. It's like a magnet. And it's usually something or someone that makes us feel better or gives us hope because they're on a higher vibration. So this all fascinated me when I was listening to it for the first time. And then I really dived deep and have been studying it. I knew I needed to know more. I was just so intrigued by all of it. And now I have studied it for like 2 years, every single day. No lie, every day. We have no idea how much power and potential that we have inside ourselves. We don't have to settle for if we don't want to. We don't have to think that we're stuck in something we don't want to be. We're not born into a certain way, so we don't need to tell ourselves that, oh, that's just the way it is. It's not. Let me tell you a story about the power of your mind and how your thoughts can create or disintegrate by either having a high or a low vibration. I was 29 and I had a 2-year-old and I had a little infant. And I went in for a routine checkup to my doctor, and my doctor wasn't there. She was on a leave, maternity leave, I believe. And so I thought, oh, whatever, it's just an annual, hee-haw doctor's appointment. So we did all that, and then he asked me questions, and he asked me about family history and that, and I mentioned that my mom had MS, and she had been diagnosed when she was 35, and he looked at me like as if I was doomed. He had this look on his face. And I went, what? He said, we do realize that it's hereditary. It's just a matter of time. Yada, yada, yada. Wow. Needless to say, when I walked out of that doctor's appointment, I felt a little low. I had stuff going through my head that was like, because I had seen my mom. She was in her 40s, later 40s by then. So she'd been diagnosed when she was 35. She was at that point in a wheelchair. We were at the point where we were deciding which long-term facility that we could put her in and all those transitional moves that you have to go through. And I was terrified, and I started living in a lot of fear, lots of fear. And I never told Scott. But really, just before a year had passed, I had deteriorated so much over that year that I even said to Scott, I said, oh my God, I feel so heavy. I feel like not heavy as in weight. I just feel heavy. My feet feel heavy. My arms feel heavy. I started dragging one leg. I started dragging my foot. Then my doctor came back, and I got to go for my annual again. And I was talking to her, and she said, so how are you doing? And I said, oh, it's not been a good year, and just because this has happened and that's happened. And she's like, why, what's going on? And I said, well, in your notes, I'm sure that the doctor I saw last time told me it was pretty much inevitable that I would have MS someday because my mom has it. And the look she gave me was one of, you've got to be kidding me. So she literally told her secretary to just, let the other 2 or 3 clients go by because she had to have a little sit down with me and a little chit chat. And she told me the way it was. And she said, that is absolutely untrue. You are healthy. I have looked after you since whatever. I've looked after you and monitored you through both of your pregnancies. You are such a healthy person, blah, blah, blah. She said, there is no correlation. There is no scientific absolute proof of that. And I am not kidding you, folks. I was healed. My mind decided, I don't have it. I don't have it. I don't have MS. I'll never have MS. Oh my gosh. I'll never, ever have MS. I don't have to have it. I walked out of that doctor's office on cloud 9. I had been given the best freaking report ever. I was like, even Scott was like, what's going on? How come you're like, what happened? And I never really told him until years later. And I'm glad I didn't, because you know what? When you tell somebody, you're pouring gas, you're fueling, good or bad. So, I mean, if it's something good and a high vibrational something and you want to create a mastermind and really make it go like a wildfire, give her. But if it's a negative, low vibe, don't give it a lot of fuel. Not saying just keep it to yourself like I did. That might have been wrong, but it worked out for the best for me because I haven't, I never will. I am healthy. I am awesome. And that's that. So it was like a switch. My heaviness and my limpy leg that I kept dragging behind me, miraculously it was gone the next day. It was just, and I didn't know any of this stuff, none of this stuff before then. But now, looking back, I can see the power of your mind. So I had bought into that doctor's diagnosis. I totally bought into it. I didn't think for myself. I didn't get another opinion. I didn't call my doctor. I'm sure I could have reached her had I needed to and said, oh my God, I'm doomed. And she would have straightened me out right there and then. I just bought it. So just because my mom had MS does not mean that I had to accept that. I've heard so many times from other people, oh, it runs in the family. A lot of it doesn't need to. Most likely, we just have to choose a different path. We just choose, no, I'm not going to. I don't accept that. And it's really that easy. We're not meant to be sick. We are perfect. When we are born, we are perfect. Right from source. Boop. We're perfect. We might have something like we look at as a disability, but we're still perfect. That's just a physical thing. Our spiritual DNA is perfect. We're meant to be well. We're meant to think well. You choose what you're going to do. That beautiful pure energy that comes to and through you 24 hours a day. It never stops. It comes in. It finds a way through. So if your thoughts are impure and you're full of worry and doubt, you're setting yourself up in a negative vibration, and that attracts like vibration. You must take control of those thoughts. You must live more consciously. Get yourself off of autopilot. Being on autopilot is living through your 5 senses, being that pinball. It's not a healthy way to live. Take interest in yourself. Ask yourself questions. Pay attention to how you think. Stinking thinking, it doesn't only repel people and animals. Animals feel that like right now. They know bad people or grumpy people. My dogs, they know when mama's grumpy, they're like, I'll talk to you later. And they bugger off. But if you remain in a negative, low vibration, you will eventually become sick. You will become stuck. And then you just don't know how to get out of it. So keep your vibration high. High, 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 as high as you can. Hang out with positive people. Shut off that darn TV. Stop listening to social media. Garbage. Design your life instead of following society's blueprint. You are a powerful, powerful human being created from the very same energy it took to create this entire universe. Think about it. Get into studying yourself. There's so much about you that would just blow you away. Your existence was no accident. It was perfect, divine timing. And your story is intermingled with mine and an infinite layer of frequencies. Wouldn't it be cool just to see how high you could go without drugs and alcohol and all the stimulants out there in the world? As Bob says, if you can see it in your mind, you can hold it in your hand. Power of thought. You're a fascinating creature. You should get to know yourself better and start attracting exactly what you want. You know, because if you start listening to your intuition, it'll guide you to what you want. You know what you want. You just gotta slow down, sister, and listen. I've learned how to use the laws of the universe to become aligned with my source, and I reap the benefits of any situation. Always try to find the good. Start seeing obstacles as opportunities. Maybe you lost your job, especially through this whole pandemic. But you know what? I bet you it's leading you somewhere better. I bet you it's unraveling something in you to become a new version of you that you didn't even know you could become. And you would never get that opportunity if you didn't have the obstacle. Maybe you're going through a divorce. Those suck. Been there. But you know what? It'll probably show you how to love yourself again. And it'll show you your worth. So have you ever looked back and seen something happen, seen how it happened, how it unraveled? Maybe it was there to help you get up a rung of the ladder. Maybe you even got to skip a few rungs. Steve Jobs says you can only connect the dots going backwards. I like to say we need faith to connect them going forwards. So start designing. Start designing your life according to your thoughts, which you're going to keep positive, which you're going to write down all the good things about you in your life right now, and gratitude, and be grateful for what there is in your life. I'm 23 minutes in, but you know what? I'm going to take a quick minute just to share something with you that you can just do and apply. It's a really condensed version because I'm going to talk fast and just tell you the outline of a story called the 333 story. Some of you might have heard of it. It's incredible. It's a story that gained great notoriety over the years, and it was shared in the You Were Born Rich book that we're actually studying in book club. It's about a businessman named Bob Templeton, and he was able to raise $3 million for a town here in Canada that had been devastated in a tornado. He raised $3 million in just 3 hours, only 3 days after the event. The way he managed this was quite simple, and it's something that you can do in your life right now. He teamed all of his people together, explaining this 333 plan. Okay, 3 million in 3 hours. And like some of the people just thought that he was absolutely nuts. But he drew a T on a flip chart. And on the left, he wrote, why we can't. On the right, he wrote, why we can. And he put an X right through the left side that said, why we can't. Off the table. He wasn't interested in why he can't. And he told the team to focus only on the reasons why you can. Okay? People were allowed to voice their doubts and objections, and that's fine. But what happened is whenever somebody would say, the crowd or the team would say next, because it wouldn't even go on the board. And you just say next, next, until there was a positive or a reason why you could. And then it was written down. So Bob was working, this Bob Templeton, he was working with one of the laws called the law of polarity. So to an up, there's a down, the in and out, tide goes up, tide comes in. That's the law of polarity. So if there is a can't in your life, guess what? There's a can. Yes, you can. All the motivational rah-rah videos out there you can see on YouTube say you can. It's true. You can. You really can. Now, if you use the laws of the universe and apply those laws, you can a lot faster. So, a mini version of this 333 story is what I want you to do. Take your sheet of paper and put your T through it. Say, why I can't, why I can. Cross out the why I can't, whatever it is, the dilemma or the thing that you're thinking about that you want to accomplish or do. I don't care how big or small it is, just what it is you want to do. And then in your mind, start thinking of all the reasons. Okay? And then if something comes up in your mind, it's more I can't, don't even put it on the paper, just say next, next, next. Ooh, that would work. Write it down. Write it down. Write it down. When you have at least 10 reasons why you can, I want you to look at that list and just tell yourself that every day. I can. And then all the reasons, blah, 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 why you can do whatever that goal was you set out for yourself. It's amazing. Kind of went over 27 minutes, but that's okay. I love talking to you. It's kind of like being a news reporter or something. I'm in a room talking to myself, but I know that this is going to reach somebody and perhaps somebody will change their life because of it. And that's why I'm doing this. Our next topic is you're no different because you're not. You're no different than I was. You might have a different challenge in your life, but how you conquer that challenge is really no different than the way I conquered mine. So keep on, keep it on, be positive, look for the good every single day. There's lots of good out there. Even on a gloomy, rainy day that it is for me here today, ducks love this weather. Ducks, they love a nice rainy day. So there's my positive that I found. Till next time, I love you and leave you. I'm intuitively yours, Julie. Bye.